who have held our graduates when they were once so small so as to be cradled, and more recently, as they were held in encouragement, thought, and prayer, we give thanks. For the graduating class of 2012, may blessings rich, deep, and strong strengthen and encourage you as you go forth from this day. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you members of our platform party. I ask that you hold your applause until the end. Joining me on this stage is Graydon Nicholas, the Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick. Graydon. We have Tony Souza, Professor Emeritus, Honorary. We have Jane Fritz, Professor Emeriti, Honorary. We have Ben McCrae, Honorary Degree Recipient. Our Chancellor, Dr. Richard Curry, Chaplain Kevin Bork, from whom you've just heard, Anthony Secco, the Vice President Fredericton, Gordon Mason, the University Orator, Ed Biden, our Dean of Graduate Studies, Pauline Lorden, Member of our Board of Governors, Greg Keeley, Vice President Research, Dan Murray, Vice President Finance and Corporate Services, Bob Skillen, Vice President Advancement, Issam Hussain, Associate Dean of Engineering and member of our board, Don Floyd, the Dean of Forestry now proceed to the conferring of degrees in course. May I extend to all of you who will graduate here today the warmest congratulations of your university. When you first came here as a student, you became a member of the UNB family. Today, all of this family, administrators, teachers, colleagues, friends, fellow students, have come here to share your pride in reaching this most important milestone in your life. We recognize and applaud your hard work and sacrifice, and we wish you every success and every happiness in the future.
Royan. Jessica Sharon Santry. Christopher William Vale. This concludes the granting of the Bachelor of Computer Science degree. Horatio Rincon. Mohammed Abu Al-Qasim Shashan. Master of Science in Forestry, Jean Elizabeth Moore. Master of Environmental Management, Humphrey Atachek Akwar. Timothy Harold Brothers. Aaron John Dowding. Cynthia May Hawthorne. Xingyu Ji. Louis John Price. Gulzar Soleimani. Sarah Diane Spencer. The Master of Computer Science, Zainab Hamza Al-Mukbel.
Dr. Farahani used signal processing techniques to enhance the performance of optical fiber sensors. His findings will contribute to faster and more accurate measurements of temperature and strain in applications such as bridge maintenance. Manful Singh Figueria. Dr. Figueria investigated impacts of wildfires, forest harvesting, and artificial plantations on genetic diversities in white spruce. His findings have significance for the conservation and sustainable management of the boreal forest of Canada. Mashid Hadavand. Dr. Hadavand investigated the simulation of ferrofluids through porous media. Her findings will contribute to applications in biomedical engineering and enhanced cooling of microelectronic devices. Shabani Jeffrey Kachua. Dr. Kachua developed a large-scale framework to support long-term investment planning for transportation infrastructure. His findings will help to improve the value and life cycle of assets and ensure the efficient use of limited resources. Tui Ti Tu Le. Dr. Tavali investigated state-of-the-art approaches to detect intrusive activities in computer networks. His findings will contribute to the development of advanced intrusion detection systems. Dr. Sai investigated the design and application of novel modified starches for innovative antimicrobial products. Her findings will contribute to the development of bioactive papers for health and environmental applications. This concludes the granting of degrees in course.
Congratulations, graduates. Please note that an English translation of your diploma has been placed inside the folder behind the parchment. In 2011, on the occasion of UNB's 225th anniversary, a new tradition was introduced, the UNB coin. I'd like to thank all of those who made this tradition possible, from the committee who worked hard to get the coin just right, to the associate alumni who made a significant financial contribution in support of the project. We hope this coin will carry your individual memories of a life-changing experience at UNB and serve as a reminder